Peace, family. We're in the house. Your warning has been sent. I want y'all to make sure y'all, when you righteous artillery will be used unmercifully in this presentation, because our peoples is in a state of ignorance, and so we got to do whatever we got to do to wake them up. We will be transcending space and time to reveal hidden truths only the greatest of sages could achieve. And so we're going in the areas that, even the above average, even the superior teachers wouldn't even go into. I want to make sure that y'all get over to kingseti.com, online marketplace, official DVDs by the General, Sarah Soon Seti, t-shirts and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics, remedies, and much, much more. I want y'all to get on over to SETI University, generalseti.com, University of Ancient and Modern African Wisdom and Knowledge, the complete General Sarah Soon Seti website. Got over 800 videos on the site of so many subjects. I don't even have the time. You just go and check the site out, and I guarantee you're going to love it. Y'all know what it is. SETI Live is lit. So I want you to subscribe to all my YouTube pages. Hit that notification bell. Give the videos a thumbs up. Like them because you love them. General SETI YouTube page. Sarah Soon Seti YouTube page. And please support the General on Patreon. You can find me at General Sarah Soon Seti. I got over 100 live streams on my site, and I do live streams weekly. So make sure you check me out, because those live streams are most definitely lit, and they too raw for YouTube anyway. So if you want to see that raw material, get on over to my Patreon. Now today we're going to be dealing with the divinity of black hair. Now, I hate to make claims, but I have to when it's the truth. You understand what I'm saying? I was the first brother out there, first teacher that brought the fact that the ancient Egyptians was wearing waves. If you said it to yourself. I brought it to the masses after, doing so much research. You see what I'm saying? And I made it clear that we was wearing some of the same hairstyles that we wearing today back in ancient time. And many times you see, when they wanted to depict spiral or coily or woolly hair, they would put circles inside of the hairstyle to depict coily hair. Now, the one thing about coily hair, whether it's in the afro, whether it's in the wave pattern, you see what I'm saying? It's the spiral. Our hair grows in a spiral. You see, and so today we're going to be looking at the cosmic divinity of the spiral. You see what I'm saying? Whether you brush them down, all you're doing is making waves of spirals. That's all you're doing. You see, but it's still a spiral. And so you see that much energy in the universe, the most powerful energy in the universe, is created in the spiral, the movement of the spiral, whether it's the movement of the galaxy, whether it's hurricanes, tornadoes, even the turbine engines of submarines, of jets, supersonic jets, even the air turbine that produce energy from wind. You understand what I'm saying? All of it moves in the sacred spiral, and there's a reason for that. You see, a lot of people don't understand that even antenna. You understand, when we look at our hair to the right, you see some of the different grades of the spiral that's in our hair coily. And you can see that, our hair is actually antenna. See, the thing is, we don't understand that much of what technology is a replication of what is actually, in nature. Even the airplanes, they look at certain birds, whether it be the hawk or the eagle. You look at this new 30, 38, 35, whatever it is, where it don't even have to take off. It shoot up in the air and then it can hover. And so many things, they looked at the hummingbird, they looked at the dragonfly. So much of what technology is a replication of what is actually in nature. So when you look at our hair as a coil, we have to understand that that's also antenna, which connects us to the cosmic frequencies of the universe. And because we've been taught against our natural being, we have been taught that our hair is ugly and this, that, and third. We don't respect it. We have not been taught the divinity of who we are, that we are, the manifestation of the cosmos in the flesh. Everything about us, from our hair to our melanin and our spirit, and many of the ideas that our ancestors have created, is because we are the chose, that we are connected to the cosmos. And I prove that those who are not connected have taught us to disconnect and put our faith in religion, which is a disconnection from the cosmos. So we're going to see that our hair is antenna. You see what I'm saying? And energy, we have to understand that energy is measured in what? Waves. I don't care whether it's sound, I don't care whether it's solar. It's measured in waves, and it's a reason for that. It's a reason for that it is measured in waves. And you're going to see another reason why we were called the serpentine people, because serpents are also, depicted in the spiral. And, even our number system is in the spiral. And so when you look at how energy is depicted today, is depicted serpentine, the movement of the serpent. And so and so we have to understand, many times just like they use, waves and serpentine measurement in science and so on and so forth. Our people used it in the ancient world to depict the same scientific information as energy. Even when you're talking about seismic waves, even when it's an earthquake, it's being measured in seismic wave energy. So everything, when it comes to the most powerful things in creation, it's the spiral and it's the wave. You see what I'm saying? Which again is serpentine and all of its depictions. So, and so what we have to first come to understand, that God is the sun. And once we understand that God is the sun, the melanin, the hair will become more, apparent as being a part of our divinity and not something that should be shunned. So when you look at Malachi 4, it says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings." So understanding the cosmic and divine law, you understand it, it's healing in that. You see what I'm saying? It's divine knowledge and wisdom in that. And we've been taught away from that divine wisdom and that healing. And that's why maybe we're so disconnected. And anytime you take away the connection to the cosmos, it's just like when you snatch the antenna off a car back in the day, or the TV, and you take the antenna off the car or off the TV, what'll happen? It start making that erratic sound like shh, and so you disconnected. And so when you disconnect from the cosmos and you don't understand the divinity in your hair and your melanin and so on, in reality, in your mind and your spirit, you hearing that same disconnect as if the TV had been disconnected. It's nothing but erratic sound, shh, all through the body and mind. And so we have to reconnect to our black divinity. And so when you see also in Psalm 84, "For the Lord God is a sun and a shield." Okay? And so you have to understand when you hear that. And when you go back to this one, Malachi 4, what must be recognized immediately. If you go to this one, you see sun is lowercase. But when you go to Malachi 4, you see that son is uppercase, which means that you only spell something with an uppercase. If it ain't at the beginning, the only way you should be able to spell something with an uppercase letter, in the middle of a sentence, if it's a person, place, or a thing. So when it says son here, it's in meaning that the son is God. You see what I'm saying? It's the person of God. So you see, son of righteousness arise with healing in his wing, which was taken right out of ancient Egypt. That is the almighty sun god Ra. You understand what I'm saying? Which was depicted all over the ancient world. So you see here, Psalm 84, it says, for the Lord God is a sun and a shield. The Lord will give grace and glory. No good thing will he withhold from them that walk uprightly. Now that right there, it has two meanings. Because some of us don't walk uprightly. Some of these people's out here walk on all four. And then uprightly, right on the right. When you think about the right angle, which is, when you look at the throne of Osiris, sitting on the right angle, the square. You understand? You see many of the Imhotep sitting on the square. Right means ma'at. You understand that you living and you walking in ma'at. You understand what I'm saying? So that's what it means by right. Doing the thing, root of righteousness. And so you see here, Akhenaten, you see the God Ra, which, many people would say I-10. I don't say I-10, it's Ra. You see with them pineal gland. You see that Ra hits Akhenaten on the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? What you see right there, the serpent is right there, used as the indicator. You know what I'm saying? That this is the seed of the soul. And so the seed of the soul is S-O-L. And a lot of people spell it S-O-U-L, but it's actually S-O-L. And so, your soul is an extension of the greater soul, which is the sun. And that's why when the sun blesses you, that rich melanin is produced within inside of your brain. And it also charges the sun which is inside of you, because you also have a sun inside of you. And you understand, which is also depicted, and that's what they call the solar plexus. But if you don't know, in the solar plexus is where you get your will, determination. And because niggas are not charged, you understand, they don't have no will and no determination to get free, because they disconnected from the universe. And it shows right here, beneath your pineal gland is your nostrils, which keeps the indwelling spirit in you alive. And so you also see the sun putting an ankh under Akhenaten's nose, which means he's giving Akhenaten life. You understand? And so this is the greatest civilization that ever existed on the planet Earth. What did our ancestors know that we no longer know? Because that is the reason why we're failing in the great extent that we are today. And you see here in the Sir Dab, one of our great pharaohs, where the sun, when the sun rises every day at a particular time, this is inside of his Sir Dab. This is his Ka. You know what I'm saying? And it has a hole just large enough that the sun would hit him on the pineal gland every day. And he's transcending, life and transcending space, taking his consciousness throughout the universe. And also the Almighty is, you understand, bringing life to his Ka. So even in death, we're connected to the cosmos. There is no death when you understand that. It's a continuation of life. So we have to understand that we are children of the sun, and we've been taught away from that by religion and by those that are not connected. You understand? And not only just, it's not just, just going out, getting in the sun. It's also understanding that we are the caretakers or the custodians by divine authority. And that's not a responsibility that you can vacate. And we've vacated that responsibility. You understand? When you say caretaker of the planet Earth, that means you are to take care. That that you should care for the earth, because this is all that we have. And in our default of taking care of the earth, meaning that we even have to go to war with those who would tip the balance in favor of chaos. We haven't done that. And so digging in the earth and removing the vital elements from the earth, you understand, when you do that, then everything that's in the earth was required by creation in order for it to function the way that it does. And so when you take the elements out of the earth and you take the caretaker who is actually responsible and have the humanity to hold that office, you remove us from, and we allow them to remove us, then they tip the balance. And that's no different than somebody bleaching the melanin out of their face and out of their skin. When you bleach the earth of the minerals, you tip the balance. And what happens is the earth begin to function in a way that you don't intend. All types of storms, all type of earthquakes, fires, and that's because you have depleted the earth of many of its natural resources that is needing, and this is the outcome. This is the backlash from that. Now let's talk about our hair, because it is divine hair. In Daniel 7:9, it speaks that I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. It didn't talk about nobody. It said the Ancient. So this is God the Father. You understand? This is the Almighty God, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. And that's very significant, because many Bibles try to clean that up. Because when you say the pure wool, you done sent a significant message that cannot be refuted. You see what I'm saying? His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. You see what I'm saying? So you look to the right, you see that's the Buddha. You understand? All the ancient Christ of the from the ancient world were black, and they had woolly hair, and they were pure African. And when they say pure, let's deal with what pure means. Pure means not mixed. You see, it means not mixed or adulterated with any other substance. So when it said his hair was like the pure wool, it means he was not mixed. That means he was pure African. You see what I'm saying? And so they really messed up when they put that in there, because they didn't intend to get that by. And so a lot of other versions have taken that out. And I'm going to show you how they try to play us. And then, but once you know how you being played, you don't get played. It says free of any contamination. So it means he wasn't mixed. Because you say, some people say, well, mixed people got some woolly hair. No, it says not mixed. So that is clear that we clear that up. So these were Christ figures. Now let's deal with the word Christ, so we can understand that, because a lot of people say anointed, that Christ means anointed. And the question becomes, anointed with what? You see, the thing is, in Greek, Christ does mean anointed one, but nobody said, or meaning to anoint, but nobody asked the question, with what? What the hell do you anoint him with? Now, when you go into Sanskrit and you got a very similar Christ figure named Krishna, in Sanskrit, Krishna means black. Now, that's very significant. You understand what I'm saying? So that really clears up to what he was anointed with. Because what they talking, the oil said, God anointed my hair with oil. What is the oil? It's melanin. You understand what I'm saying? So, these were black Christ, pure black, pure woolly hair figures all across the ancient world, whether it was Buddha, whether it was Krishna, whether it was Heru, Osiris, these were African Christs, okay? Pure. You understand? Now, when you're talking about a crown, that's very significant because when we're talking about the crown, and your crown is that energy that's above, that is emanating from your crown, your wool, which is your antenna that connects you to the sun. You see, the true crown was taken from the halo. Now, sometimes they depict the halo behind the head, but many times the early angel, they just put a little circle above the head. That's the crown. You understand? To signify that, and that's where it really is supposed to be. It's supposed to be above the head. You understand? And so the energy is coming down upon you, and the crown is your hair. You understand what I'm saying? That connects you to the sun. Now, another thing about, the woolly head African Christ, the divine woolly hair, is that in Islam, they got a sect, which, Islam they don't really, accept them because they mystics and they deal with spirituality that is not officially recognized by Islam. They call them Sufis, okay? And so they do spiritual things, sing and chant, and you know what I'm saying? That is not, authorized by Islam. They stick to some of the earlier traditions of the African mystics that preceded Islam. What does Sufi mean? It means man of wool. You see what I'm saying? So that show you the early Africans that these, the Arabs and all these people stole a lot of their information from. But then they shunned those very people because, now they want to be the chosen ones. They want to sit on the throne. So then they depict that information as being, heretic information. So the Sufis were African mystics. You understand what I'm saying? Who did not follow a book per se. You see what I'm saying? They just dealt with the spiritual energy. They just dealt with their connection to the cosmic universe. You see, and so many of the Sufis today are not, in the traditional African sense of spirituality, but in the origin of the sense is only one man with wool. And so they speak about pure wool, and that is the African. Now, this is what they tried to do to take that out of the Bible. You see, when you go to Revelations, they say in Revelation 1:14, said his head and his hair were white like wool, like snow, and his eyes were like a flame of fire. See, right there, what they tried to do was to take the emphasis off the texture. You understand? They didn't say his hair was like the pure wool. They say his hair were white like white wool. So it took the emphasis off the texture and put the emphasis on the color of his hair. Okay, so anybody can have white hair. You understand what I'm saying? So right then they went in there to try to dilute, and we just said that, pure wool. And so again, this is what these Cro-Magnon Neanderthals do. You understand what I'm saying? When they trying to diffuse the black divinity in all the ancient spirituality. And so even when you look here and you see the head of his hair, this is Buddha. See, they don't show y'all these Buddhas. These are the ancient Buddhas to show you that, that what you call the builders of India and the builders of Angkor Wat and all the ancient civilizations in southern West and East India were all done by the Kushites. And the ancients spoke about that. That that this was one empire. And that much language and culture was spread all across this Kushite empire from Asia to Africa. You see? And so what we got to understand that our ancestors was teaching us. When you look at many of the pharaohs, you see the serpent coming down and it sit on the pineal gland. You see what I'm saying? And when you look at here, you see, if I'm not mistaken, Ramesses, you see the serpent is coming down. This is solar energy, which I'm going to show you. And sit right there on the pot. Now, it's also a portal. You see what I'm saying? It's a cosmic portal to the creative force. You see what I'm saying? Once you understand the power of who you are as the physical manifestation of the cosmos on the planet. When you look at the planet is almost, if I'm not mistaken, about 75% water. And also our bodies is about the same amount of water, about 75%. You see what I'm saying? You talk about all the minerals that's in the earth is also in you. You understand what I'm saying? The melanin that's in you is the cosmic melanin that's out there in the sky at night. When you look up in the sky and you see all that, that's melanin. As above, so below, as below, so above. What is in is out, what is out is in. We got to understand the balance of the universe. And so you're going to see, the spirit is spiral. Spirit is spiral. Why? Because we're talking about infinite knowledge, infinite. And so the spiral is depicting infinity. You understand that this is, our spirit will if it's one with the universe, will transcend all time and space, that we will continue to exist forever and forevermore. You understand that we will not die, that we will transcend this life and elevate to the next life. You understand? Just like the serpent sheds its skin, so we will shed this life and move into a new life. You see what I'm saying? So right here, you see, this is the depiction. As I tell you, you can go look it up on the internet. It's depicted in a serpentine energy. Waves are depicted in a serpentine energy. I put the serpent right next to the energy to show you that it is serpentine. So when you see the solar energy is coming down depicted as a serpent, then when you look over, you got to understand that's just not a serpent. That's energy. That's energy. And it's sitting on the seat of the soul. The seat of the soul is the pineal gland. It's your consciousness. And so the pineal was depicted as the seat to the soul, the solar, which is a connection to the solar, which is the sun. And that's why your connection to the sun here on the seat of the soul is where that liquid, that anointed with oil, is produced right there in the pineal gland. You also got melanin centers in the back too, with the the Nagra, whatever it's called. I got to get that Latin term, but in the back of your brain is also a melanin center. And so you see right here the energy depicted as the serpent, and then when you come again, you see the serpent, sitting on the seat, the Pharaoh's crown, and right there, this particular serpent, which is the king cobra. And that's very significant that I say that. Not just any serpent, it's a king cobra. So right there, it shows you divinity. And even in the ancient world, dragons and serpents that were seen with the crown, because these is nagas. These are not just any serpents. These is actually deities depicted as serpents, representing energy. You see what I'm saying? As you look down at the king cobra sitting on the Pharaoh's pineal, you see the infinite eight. You see the infinite eight right there. A continuation of infinite energy. And so a lot of people will say, well, what about West Africa and this, that, and the third? Are we West African? Are we East African? You can see right here that even in West Africa, they got the serpent sitting on the pineal gland too. So we got to understand this knowledge went all across Africa. You see what I'm saying? This sacred knowledge went all across all the Kush empire. You see what I'm saying? And so this right here clears it up, because you can evidently see that this is not by coincidence that you would have the rulers of West Africa and East Africa. And people need to sit down and take a list and go from 1 to 20 and just say to themselves, let me write down all of the similarities between East Africa and West Africa, and it wouldn't be that hard to get to 20. And when you get, and you're gonna see you're gonna need extra, and by the time you get to 50, you're gonna see so many similarities that you would not, it's impossible to have that many similarities without, evident of a relationship, a deep relationship between Africans all across the continent. The energy of God descending down from heaven in the form of the serpent to sit upon the pineal gland, the seed of the soul. Okay, the universal understanding of this divine process known all across the African world. So you see, even here, we got two, African kings and queens. You understand, with the serpent sitting on the pineal. Now, when we talk about in Asia, East Asia, especially East Asia, the serpent becomes the dragon. And so you see that the dragon is only a zoo type, a mythical zoo type of the sun. No different than when you see the serpent with the sun disc over his head, then you see the dragon with the sun disc over his head. So a lot of people don't understand the deep meaning of when it said return of the dragon. You hear the Bruce Lee say return of the dragon, and you hear a lot of Chinese people talk about the return of the dragon. Even though they done stole our knowledge, you got to understand that the dragon is only a zoo type of the Christ consciousness that will come back to our people, even in a state of ignorance. That when you talk about, we talk about the woolly head Christ and the black Christ. The Christ consciousness is just like anything in the universe. It's a up and it's a down. It'll be, but there's no state where we always down. There's not going. So there will be a time when we rise again, and so that's what it means by return of the dragon. That's the return of that infinite wisdom and cosmic knowledge that somehow we lost in a age where it was prophesied that we would lose that knowledge. But just like there was ages where it was prophesied we would lose the knowledge, we would again return to that divine knowledge. Okay, return of the dragon, the global return of the African consciousness of immortality. So when you see the serpent sitting on the pineal gland, you understand what I'm saying? It's an infinite knowledge. It's, infinite conscious and eternal wisdom of the solar melanin manifestation of creation. You see the solar melanin manifestation of creation. When you see the Nagas and they're in the spiral, the infinite spiral, you got to understand that's your consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? It goes on and on and on. As you get to one stage, you elevate to the next stage. And the next stage, you think you die, but you ain't dying. You just going to the next stage. And so when you look even at the Nemesis crown, it's a serpentine crown representing the warrior king poised to strike. You understand what I'm saying? So, the Naga, when I tried to bring the Naga, people just didn't want to understand that. Even though, it's probably just as much African kings and queens and goddesses and gods depicted as a serpent in Egypt than it is in India. You understand what I'm saying? It was the Egyptians and Cushites that took it there and established it there. And so when you talk about the infinite eight, the serpent coils into the infinite eight. Infinite thoughts, infinite transcension, eternal life. You see what I'm saying? The serpentine mysticism of the Nagas, the Naga Kushite. But look here, this is how they block your connection to the cosmos. See what I'm saying? Do you notice in most, especially the Christian, that when they bless you, they call it blessing you, but they actually cursing your ass because they disconnecting you from the universe. You see right here, they put their hands on your crown chakra, or they gonna put their hands on your forehead, which is your brow chakra. You see, to them, they understand the hidden meaning of that. To make sure that, and then teach your own people to continue on, and be be one who also inflicts. You understand, this type of ignorance on his own people or her own people. So you see right here, blocking the natural cosmic consciousness, teaching white supremacy and religion. You understand what I'm saying? And anytime you try to reconnect, they're going to tell you you're a heretic. You see right here, block the connection to the mother cosmos. You know what I'm saying? Keep them trapped in the ceremonies. You understand what I'm saying? Keep them trapped in the ceremony. Go on up there and drink the blood of Jesus in the body of Jesus. Go on and involve yourself in the vampirism and the cannibalism. Keep them trapped in the rituals, the holidays. Keep them trapped in the Bible, even though you understand the shit is so contradictory to it, even to other segments of the book. You keep them trapped in there, just like the genie is trapped in the lamp. Our people's souls is trapped in the Bible. The lamp has been replaced by the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? But your spirit is trapped in that Bible nonetheless. And make them believe that if they ever try to come out of this book or out of this religion, that their soul will burn in eternal damnation. Make them a believer. And so he's blocking your connection to the universe. You understand? And why do you think that, most white people, whether they in education or jobs, that they ban black people from wearing their natural hair a lot of times? Do you wonder that? Because they know the power of it, and you don't know the power of it. And so you see all across the world, many times they get our people to do the work of the white man. But don't get it twisted. That's who's teaching them to continue to disconnect. And they use our own people so you don't see his hand in it. You see Negro priests and preachers continue slave policy banning traditional African spirituality to African youth. And as you see all these priests, especially these primarily priests, you got to understand this the chief. Even though you don't see him, he's there. He's the one that's ordaining everything. You understand? They always put their hand on the top of your head. They always put their hand on the top of your head or on the top of your head or on your pineal gland. You see, I'm recording, baby. Daddy recording this. Okay, my baby done woke up, but I'm still gonna kick it, family. We ain't stopping. You see, one who is not connected to the solar melanin system of divinity will be non-reflective. So this is how you know someone that's not connected to the universe. You see what I'm saying? When they look into the mirror, they have no ka. They have no soul. They're cut off from the cosmos. And these are the people that teaching you to disconnect. You understand what I'm saying? We are not all created equal. We are the chose. We are the chose. And so when the people, what they're doing, what you see, the spirit confined to religious dogma. You see, it's a itty bitty living space. Got your soul squoze up in the book. Got your, and you are infinite being, but you squoze up in the book. So what you got to understand today, family, that religion is prison. It's the prison of the soul. You understand what I'm saying? You got to come out of the religion. You got to free your spirit. You got to connect to the universe. You understand what I'm saying? And be, and spiritual in all the sense and study the spirituality of the ancestors, so you can advance your connection to the universe. Advance it and expand it into where you become like a god or a goddess in your own time. Once you free yourself, you see what I'm saying? Once your divinity is recognized and your spirit is set free from religion, phenomenal cosmic powers will be afforded to you. You see, even right here, and I'm about this, coming up out of this, you know what I'm saying? You see right there, it's like he put his hand on your hand, and then he blocking the sun at the goddamn same time, because you see his damn face is red as a damn tomato. You see what I'm saying? So that lets you know what he blocking. You understand what I'm saying? He blocking the sun in both instances. One is a cult and one is overt. You understand? One is covert and one is overt, but it's showing you what he blocking. And one is symbolic, is not to let these children of the sun reclaim their cosmic divinity and break free from the chains of this white oppressor. I want to thank your family for your time, your energy, and support. This is the General Seti saying peace.